Hello everyone, Lee here. Just a quick little video really to say that I'm still around. I know I've not made any content for a little bit, but you know, things just happen sometimes. And really just a little video to check in and say hello. Oh, hang on, sorry, excuse me. Oh, I thought I'd turn this off. Hello? Hellboy? You want my help with an investigation? I'm on my way. And here we go. This is the introductory case file mission called Eviction Notice. You can see here I've got everything set up that I need. I've got my character cards at the top, my two characters in their starting square, my HQ board with various tokens tracking various things, and the case file cards which basically play the game with you, and my enemy cards at the bottom. We can also see the deck of doom, which is almost like how the game plays against you, and the encounter deck, which just tells us what's happening in each of the rooms when we enter them, such as what enemies are there, are there any clues, and so on. The first case file card has a bit of flavour text on it, so just before we dive in, I'll read that out and see if it can get us in the mood for some good old detective noiring. Eviction Notice. Frogs, like snakes, scorpions, ravens and black cats, are traditionally considered harbingers of doom. This is borne out by folktales such as the one from Africa, which sees a man's prayer for eternal life ruined by a frog who sees a bleak future of his own species should man flourish. It's no coincidence then that the chief minions of the Ogdru Jahad are the frog monsters. These amphibian hybrids are able to shapeshift, taking the forms of men to further their never-ending quest to bring about the end of the world as we know it. One of our field teams has cornered a particularly large specimen in an underground crypt. Agents are to report to the scene and deal with the threat before it escapes. Now then, to start our first turn one, we're going to open this door and see what's in the next room. Now this is a free action, anybody can do it as long as they're in a square adjacent to a room that hasn't been explored yet. So the good thing about this game is each character has 3 activations each, as represented by the cubes that I've got next to them there. And this is a free action, but they can do actions in any order that they want. So Abe can go in and do a couple of things, saving an action, then maybe Hellboy can go in, do something, let Abe do something else, then Hellboy can finish off his turn. So there's a bit of flexibility there, and I should imagine when you're playing with more than one person, boo-hoo-hoo, it's actually really quite a fun mechanic. So let's have a look. So his first free action, he's going to open the door, and then we turn over our encounter card. I'll put that there. We can't really see it, but basically this is saying we've got 2 minions, a clue and some scenery. So square one is a minion C, which is an armed frog monster. So that's 1. Square 2 is minion D, which is a transforming frog monster. He goes in there. Because it's only 2 square room, you get 4 squares worth of deployments on these cards. So the next one goes back into square 1, and it's a clue. So I'm going to put down this little pile of bones, and then we have a scenery piece going in square 2, which would be square 4 if we're in a larger one. Right, now then, let's have a think what we're going to do. So for the first little interaction here, I think Abe's going to spend 1 of his action cubes to shoot this transforming frog monster. Now Abe has a shoot characteristic of red, which means that he rolls the red dice, and the red dice are the best of the basic dice. Orange are intermediate, and yellow are very basic and not particularly good. So I'll be rolling 3 of these along with the blue like HQ dice, 6 faces of which have varying results and can either help or hinder you. So I'm going to try and roll these on camera, but they're going to be a little bit blurred just because of the way I've got everything set up, so bear with me. So it's 3 dice standard, then with a blue dice as well, blue HQ dice, and let's see what we've got, let's see what we can do. That's not bad. I'm very happy with this. This frog monster has a health of 4 and a resilience of 1. So that means I would need to roll 5 damage to kill him outright. And here I have a 3, a 2, and a 1. So the 1 for resilience is gone, and then his 5 hits have still managed to go through. So the result here means I can re-roll any of these dice, which is quite fun, but obviously I'm not going to because I've got everything that I need to. So yep, really quite happy with that. Sorry, I didn't get that quite in. This dice here, I can re-roll any of the dice that I've just rolled. So that's quite very good, so very happy with that. Abe's done really, really well on his first shot, and he also has something on his card called Quick Reflexes. When testing fight or shoot, spend a... Oh no, I've not got that, that's a shame. I thought I got a cube back, never mind. Okay, so this frog monster, he's gone, he's done. Next up, Abe is going to move. So that's 1, 2 to move to there. And then I think we're going to... That costs an action. And then we're going to throw some fightings at our little friend there. So 3 orange dice as a standard, and then a blue dice as well for his final activation. Let's see what we get here. Now the armed frog monster has a resilience of 2 and a health of 6, so I'm going to need 8, which is going to be probably not going to happen, but Hellboy's still got 3 activations left, so let's see what we can do here. Okay, yeah, not very good at all. Just 3 hits, minus 2 resilience, so 1 hit, so this chap's got 5 health left. So unlucky there, Abe, but that first shot you did, absolutely fantastic. Right then, time for your man himself. Hellboy's coming in now, so here we go. He moves for 2. Sorry, he moves 2 squares, that costs 1, and then we're gonna hit this big boy here, and let's see what he can do. So here we go. 1 for a hit. Hellboy, unsurprisingly, has 3 red dice for hitting, for melee combat, and his blue dice as well. So let's see what we can do with Hellboy for his second activation. Not quite good. That's cocked. Let's re-roll that. It's only me doing it anyway. Okay, here we go. 2, 4, 6 hits in total. Take away 2 for his resilience, so 4 have gone through on top of the 1 previously. Yep, just had to double check that. So that's 1 went through on Abe, 4 went through on Hellboy just then, which has left this particular frog monster on 1 health. I really would like to get that clue, but I also really don't want any frog monsters hanging around, so I'm going to spend Hellboy's last activation on another melee attack. That's cocked, so I'll re-roll that one. Okay, here I have 2, 4, 6, 7 attacks have gone through, 2 off for resilience, which means a further 5 have gone through. It's safe to say that this guy is absolutely splattered. Unfortunately, I can't get that clue, so I'll just have to hang on for the next phase and see what's what. So let's recuperate and see what happens next. This now puts us in the rest phase, also known as taking time. If there are no enemies on the board, we can investigate for free, which is basically discard a clue counter on the board and advance the information gathered twice. Now that's absolutely something we do want, so I think for this one, because they both did a good job in taking out their intended target, but I think Abe is going to spend his free action. I don't know, I didn't need to worry about that too much, it doesn't matter who does it, and I'm going to get that clue, and I'm going to move my clue counter along 2 spaces, which puts me on space number 2, unsurprisingly, and I also get a information token, and they really help when you go into boss battles, so the more of those you have, the better really. So I've got one of those. There's 1 more 2 spaces away from that, and then 4 spaces away from that. I don't need to recuperate because none of my guys got damaged. I don't need to secure any rooms because there are no frog swarms anywhere. They're not going to trade any items. Target priority, that's absolutely fine. And then here's where the trouble starts. We advance the impending doom clock. So that moves up to space number 2. And here we are, turn over our first card from the deck of doom. And that says, Helpful Skeletons. Put this card in play. Any agent can spend 2 action cubes or a single rest action to discard this card. Then either look at any face down encounter card, returning it face down to its room, or look at the top of the 2 cards of the deck of doom, replacing them face down in the same order they were in. Probably not too helpful for me on this little intro solo run, but still, you never know. In a bigger game, if there's a few you play in and you've got a bigger dungeon, hey, who knows, that could be quite fun. But that's it really. So now we're going off to the enemy phase, but there aren't any enemies on the board, so not that. So we start again. So Hellboy gets his 3 actions back, Abe gets his 3 actions back, and we go again. Turn 2 starts with Hellboy opening his little door to have a little sneaky peek and see what's in there. And on this encounter card we have Minion A in square 1, square 2 holds a clue, square 3, which is 1 again if you remember, is scenery 4, and box 4, which is 2 again, has another Minion A. Now if you remember, Minion A was a rampaging frog monster, so we have 1 in here. We then have a clue over here, and I've gone for a little treasure chest on a stone plinth because, well, it's pretty groovy. We then have scenery 4 in this square, which is a discarded dinner table, and then another Minion A, another rampaging frog monster. Right, okay, let's see how the guys get on. On this occasion, Hellboy's going to go first. He's going to spend 1 action to move up, and then he's going to spend 2 for his special action, which is on his character card called Big Right Hook. With this, you make a fight action, and if you hit, the target suffers 3 additional damage, is stunned, and is also hurled. Hurled's really fun in this. Basically, you throw them into something, and they take as many hit points as that is worth. So, for example, that little table is scenery 4, which means if I hurl that rampaging frog monster into that table, he takes a further 4 damage. So I'm going to pick up my 3 red and my blue. Let's see what we've got. Okay, I'm very happy with that. My 3 red dice are 2 3s and a 2. Now on its own, that would be enough to take this guy out completely. Obviously, as I said before, he's got a resilience of 2, so that takes care of that, but then he has 6 health points, which that's enough there to get rid of him. But I've also got a ×2 on this HQ dice, but unfortunately that's not really going to do anything. So sort of feel like I might have wasted that activation there, but after he whiffed a couple there last turn, I didn't think it was worth it. He's just going in blazing, and that's all of Hellboy's activations done. So I think the only thing really Abe can do now is come in, shoot this guy up. Oh, so he needs to go because he's splatted. He's gone. He's out of there. So Abe's going to move in for 1. He's going to turn around, and then he's going to have a crack at this rampaging frog monster. I think what we'll do here is I'm going to use his harpoon gun as a harpoon, and that adds 4 to the damage, which is really quite cool. So I'm going to do that. So here we go. I've got my 3 red dice, my blue dice, and it's also 4 extra damage anyway. So that's 1 for Abe to move, 1 for Abe to shoot. Okay, we've got 3, 2, 1, and another 1. So here we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. They've gone, it's down to 5, but then add the 4, that's 9. Splat, he's gone as well. The boys are on an absolute roll. Abe's got 1 left, and for that we're going to... Now, no, I'm not gonna have a look at that clue. I'm just gonna take, when it's our rest phase next, I'm just gonna get that and then move my thing on 2 places and then get the other token. Bit gamey, bit beardy, but who's gonna complain? It's just me playing, ha 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 ha! So the boys have cashed in one of their free actions during the downtime. during the rest phase to get an extra 2 moves up the clue track, which also gave me another token to help against the bad guy, which is always a bit of a bonus. We turned over the Deck of Doom card, and we have Unexpected Attack. Advance the impending Doom track, which I've done, and which you've got to do at the end of this phase anyway, so that's gone up 2 this turn, and that's quite worrying. The card says, spawn a minion B in the same area as the agent whose target priority marker is at the back of the queue. That's Abe, but we can't get another guy in that cube, so I'm just going to put this venomous frog monster in the square next to him, and then we will see what happens at the enemy phase, which will be coming right up. So here we are. I was all set up ready to go into the next big room there, and then I've had to flip everything back because we've had a surprise attack from a venomous frog monster. Now, as you've seen on the previous 2 turns, my guys have been going first because they've been the only ones on the board, but the game turns actually start with the enemies going first. Now, he is a venomous frog monster, and he has a range of 2 squares, and basically the way the enemy decks work in this is, excuse me, he has a ranged attack which causes 5 damage, so I need to take my defense dice and score more than 5. Now, Abe actually has quite low defense here. He's only got 3 yellow dice, so I'd have to be incredibly lucky here to score 5 or more results. So, well, let's just get into it. Let's see what I actually get. Here we go. Right, okay. Very lucky indeed on that. I've got 3 singles on my yellow dice, which I've played this game a few times and that's never happened, and a 2 result on my HQ dice. So Abe, thankfully, is A-OK on this occasion. Abe's just going to shoot him. I think that makes the absolute most sense right now. He's right in his face. He's just spat some... Well, he doesn't actually spit the venom at you. He's got a poisonous tongue, paralysing tongue, which is pretty gross. Okay, so Abe's coming in with his sidearm. He's got 3 red dice and his blue HQ dice. So let's see what we've got. Okie dokie. Right, so I've hit him for 4 on the red dice, and I've rolled a skull on my HQ dice. If I roll that, I need to flip this card, and he's out of ammunition. So I've basically scored 2 damage on this guy, which means he's got 4 left. So I'm out of ammunition. I used my harpoon, so I can't do anything. So I'm just gonna have to try and punch people now. So, all right, let's see what he can do. Punching. He's not as tough as Hellboy. He's not as leery in combat. So Abe's got 3 orange dice and of course his blue HQ dice. So I'll just take 1 action cube off there. Okay, here we go, Abe. Let's see what you've got, Abe. So this is his second action. Okay, 2 hits on the orange, but they're obviously negated by the frog monster. And then I also have a BPRD result on my effect die. I've been calling them HQ die all the way through. I do apologise, it's an effect die, and I can use that as any other die result. So for that I will I will re-roll these 3 orange test dice just to see if I can get anything better than that too. Nope, it's a 1. So I should have left that well alone, and Abe's gonna have 1 more punch. So here we go, let's see. Come on Abe, you can do it, mate. Okay, so I've got a 3, a blank on the orange, and then another ×2. So I'll take that as 5 damage in total, but reduced to 3. So this guy's got 1 left. Abe's all out of activations, and it's down to Hellboy. Hellboy's going to shoot, and apologies if there is a slight change in orientation there. I kicked my tripod as I was moving around. So here we go. So Hellboy's going to spend 1 of his activations to shoot. So he's ordinarily got 3 red die and his blue effect die. Now, because Abe's in the way, I reduce one of these red die to an orange. So, fingers crossed. I only need to get a result of 3 or more to get rid of this guy. And I have the 3. And unfortunately, I rolled a catastrophe, which means I get rid of the highest scoring die. So that's the 2, so that's a 1. It's done nothing. So he's going to have to spend another activation cube to have another crack. So here we go. This guy's a toughie. I'm not liking him. That was a cock dice there. Okay, I've got 2 that have gone through there, but they're obviously negated by his toughness. So his last one, final. Here we go. 2 red, 1 orange, and an effect die. Crikey, this guy's doing my nutting. Right, much more like it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So a bit overkill there, but obviously Hellboy's just getting a bit wound up. So he's gone, finally, absolutely splattered. And then we go into our rest phase again, and then our end phase, and then we see where we end up. So I've got a feeling something big is going to happen in the next room. Explore. So it's just a case of turning over the deck of doom, and that says noises up ahead, advancing the impending doom track. Tick, there we go. The next time a room is explored, spawn an additional minion C in the area closest to the door, then discard this card. Okay, here we go. I'm going to open this door, see what's on the encounter deck, and then we'll get stuck right in. So here we go, final room. We're going to open it for free and turn over our encounter card, and it starts going off. We have a minion B in square 1, nothing in square 2, a scenery size 2 in square 3, minion A, which is a rampaging frog monster, in square 4, and then if we cast our mind back to our deck of doom, we have an additional minion C, which is an armed frog monster in the square nearest to the door. This is going to kick off now. Let's get stuck in. Yep, so quite a busy room, this one. Just before we start this round, I should say that Abe took time during his rest phase, agent's phase sort of thing, to make sure he's got his weapon and his harpoon gun and his pistol reloaded, ready to go into this last room here. Now, because these guys were behind the door before this turn started, it's our turn to go. So Hellboy's going to go first, I reckon, and looking at his little cards, his range weapon's actually really quite good. It's the lowest dice that we need. It's the yellows, unfortunately, but it suffers 5 additional damage. I think that could be quite fun, or I could throw the table for 2 cubes. So let's try the gun thing. I think that might be a laugh. So yeah, here we go. So he's going to use that. So I'll get my 3 dice, my blue effect dice, and then I'm just going to roll. But no matter what we get, we've got an extra 5, and I'm going to go against the armed frog monster. Like I say, because he seems to have the most damage potential with 7. So here we go. Okay, not bad, not bad. 2 blanks on the yellow, a 1, and then a ×2 on my effect die. So that's 2 hits there, plus the 5 additional, so that's 7. Take away 2 for his resilience, puts him on 5, so he's got 5 damage there, 1 left. That wasn't bad at all. I'm quite happy with that. Unfortunately, it means I need to reload, which I can do by spending 1 action cube, which I might do because that actually seems quite fun, but that's overkill doing that. So next up, he's just going to move up and punch him. So that's 3 red plus his effect die, but one of these reds drops down to an orange due to having another enemy in the square. Okay, I've got a cocked red there. Okay, so that's a 2 × 2, so that's 4. That's enough to take him out. 2 damage, 2 resilience, obviously 2, 1 bomb, done. He's splatted. And Hellboy now has 1 activation left, and he's going to punch the venomous frog monster. But I'm back up to 3 because he's the only enemy in the square. So here we go, something good. Well, not bad at all. 6 damage in total, but obviously 2 off gives him 4, so he's got 2 left, and then it's over to Abe. Abe is just going to shoot at this guy. So he's got his 3 red as base and his effect die. 1 action cube to do that. Because Hellboy's in the way, Hellboy's in the way, we swap 1 red for an orange. And we have, right, okay, nothing on the main dice and a wild card for the BPRD logo. For that I'll use it as the 2 damage, but obviously that doesn't do anything because of his resilience. So unlucky there, Abe. Next one, here we go, shoot again. One, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 hits on the effect die as well. I know I'm not showing all of them, but there's not enough room in the shot really. So 2 gone for his resilience, and then 4 have gone through, but that's enough to take him out. He's done and dusted, and then that's, I think Abe can only really move. Now he's got 1 left, so I think, does he want to move into here? Yeah, he might as well. And he's just in there. He's in, he's ready, he's good to go. Actually, we'll move him across here. So we'll move for the 2. He's just spread out just in case, well, anything happens next turn. And with that, that's pretty much the end of that turn. There's still a rampaging frog monster on the board, so we can't do anything. For example, Hellboy can't reload his gun or anything like that. So with that, we just go pretty much straight into the end phase. So we move the Doom counter along 1, and that then triggers the confrontation event. So let's flip this card over and see what it says. Oops. Read if the trigger marker was reached, which it was. With a terrible roar, your quarry leaps out of the shadows, scattering you like bowling pins. Each agent is stunned. Set up the giant frog monster in the lead agent's area. Discard this card, then discard the case file cards from the deck without resolving them until you reach the last one. This is the confrontation. Set up as described on page 26, blah blah blah. The boss for this confrontation is the giant frog monster. Any insights the agents have collected represent discoveries around the nest site that can be used to exploit the giant frog monster's weakness. When an agent makes a fight or shoot action, that targets the boss, upgrade 1 die for each insight on the confrontation board. That's really good. We got 2 insight counters on the way round, which means we can upgrade 2 of our red die to black die, which are significantly better than everything else that we've got available to us. So I'm just going to flip everything around and set it up, and then we start our boss encounter. And like that, in he comes. Splats him down. Splats him down. Anyway, here we go, coming into the final run of turns, and I don't think things are looking too great for our boys. This is it then, the big confrontation. The frog monster, sorry, the giant frog monster goes first, and he, as I said earlier, he has a boss behaviour deck. So we flip over the first card here, and it says summon minions. Spawn a minion A and a minion B in the areas as far as possible from any agents, but no more than 1 room away from the boss. The lead agent chooses the exact area. I'm the lead agent, so I'm going to put them in this, in the previous room that had the little tome on the little plinth, as far away from us as possible. That's everything that the boss can do, and now it's the remaining minions. So Hellboy is the lead investigator. he's the one that they're all going to be going for in this one, unfortunately. So first up, I think that rampaging frog monster is going to have a little wander up and see what he can do. He's just going to basically get into Hellboy's face, in his space, getting ready for his next enemy phase. The same applies for this chap. He's just going to move up. He can move too, so he's going to move into this square as well. It's getting a bit crowded in there. And the transforming frog monster, he's cowardly, and I think that means he just tries to get as far away from everybody as possible, so he's probably going to try and run away. So he's going to go 1, 2. That's everything for the bad guys. Now time for the goodies. And with that, Hellboy jumps up, spending 2 of his activation cubes of the 3, so pretty disappointing there. And he's going to throw a punch at the big boss man, I think, actually. Wants to try and take him down, I reckon. So that's 3 for his base attack. I get 3 red dice. I get to upgrade 2 of those to black dice. And I also have my effect die. So here we go. Let's see what he can do for his one thing he can actually do. Okay, that's not bad at all. So that's 3, 4, 5 off the black die, 1 off the red dice, and a ×2 on the effect die. So I'm going to have that to make the 3 a 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 9 points of damage on the giant frog monster. But he has a resilience of 4, so that's only 5. But that puts him on 15 health. So that's not a bad first swing off Big Red there. I'm quite happy with that. Then next up, Abe jumps up, ready to have a crack, ready to take him downtown. And Abe is going to shoot with his 1 remaining activation cube. And it's the same again. He's got 3 red dice for shooting, but I can upgrade 2 of those to black, and I've got my effect die as well. So let's see what Abe can do. Oh, that's right, but I have to downgrade a die for everybody that's in the square. 1, 2, 3, so that's 2 reds and an orange. Let's do it anyway, that can't hurt. 2 reds, an orange, and the effect die. Okay, nothing on the orange, 3 on the red, 2 on the red, and the BPRD symbol, which means I can get to use that as anything. I'll use that for a ×2 on the 3, so that gives us 6, 7, 8 points of damage. Take away 4, so that's a further 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quite happy with that. He's already down to 11 points of damage from 20, so that's quite good. Next up, it's the boss behaviour, so let's see what he's got there. Whew. Seems like that's so quick. I'm not going to do a pause and a fade here, just flip the card over. Throw agent. Agents in boss's area. The boss hurls an agent in its area. Use target priority if necessary. It's not necessary. This must be into an area containing another agent if possible. The hurled agent and each agent in the area they are hurled into are stunned. Wow, okay, fair enough. So Hellboy gets thrown into there, into Abe, and they both hit the deck. Boof, boof. Right, okay, then it's down to the other. Actually, that's worked out quite well, because the 2 frog monsters in the square with the giant frog monster would have just attacked Hellboy there and then, but now they can only really move towards the nearest player. So he's going to move into there to have a swing at Big Red, and he's going to move up as well, ready. And with that, it's over to the agents again. Right, okay then, so no damage so far or anything like that. This is it's quite fun. Let's be back in a second. I just consulted the rulebook on Hurl, and unfortunately they do take some damage. So it's not too much, hopefully it's not too bad. It's not going to affect them too badly, but basically, because Hellboy was the hurled agent, he takes 2 points of damage for hitting this. That's up to there. And then he also takes an orange die worth of damage. Nothing, fortunately. That's then gone, and then Abe takes an orange die's worth of damage. Ooh, 2. Unlucky Abe. So, once again, Hellboy jumps up, bit stunned, shaking his head. Oh no, it's cost him 2 action cubes. He's only got 1 left. He can't really do anything with that, so I will spend that action cube to reload my pistol. And for Abe's activation, he's going to jump up, and Hellboy's going to move out of the way so we can see Abe. And he's going to take a shot at the giant frog monster. So he has 1 red die, 2 upgrades, and the blue effect die. So let's see if he can give us a pretty hefty shot here. Ah, no. So we've got a skull result, which means we discard the highest, which is the 2 there, and the 4 are then completely taken up by the giant frog monster's resilience, and then Abe's out of ammunition again because he rolled that square. So that one's not gone particularly well for the boys, but hey, let's see what happens on the boss's turn, which is coming up right now. Boss behaviour. Give it a flip. Attack. The boss makes a melee attack against an agent in their area. Otherwise, the boss moves towards the nearest area that contains any agent. Its exact path is chosen by the lead agent. If it moves into an area containing an agent, it stops, then makes a melee attack. Oof. So he steps over, because he's not happy with people trying to shoot him in the head, and then he swings at the giant frog monster, and he scores 8 damage. So I have my quite intermediate shield. He's swinging for Hellboy because he's the lead agent on this turn. Right, so I've got 3 orange die to try and get 8 or more, otherwise it's more hit points for Hellboy. 3, so he takes another 5 damage. Ouch. The other 2 guys move into this square, so they budge Hellboy over into the corner. He moves into there. 1, 2, 3. That's it, there's no room for anybody else. You can only have 6 people in a square. So, yikes, things aren't looking too good for the boys, are they really? Alright, here we go. No messing around now. This guy's been taking liberties. So what we're going to do is, nothing really happened. Obviously Hellboy took a bit more damage there, but that's absolutely fine. He's going to spend 1 activation cube to throw a nice big punch at our big ugly frog monster there. So 1 red die, 2 black die, and an effect die. That's cocked, unfortunately. It's on a 4. Right, okay then. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a total of 8 damage off that 1 shot there. Take away 4 for the resilience. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's down to 7 hit points. Hellboy's going to swing again. Okay, we like that. We've got 4 on the black die, a 3 on the black die, a 2 on the red, and a 2 on the effect die. So again, we remove that 4. That's 7 hit points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's done. Absolutely splatted. Frog monster on his backside. Doesn't know what hit him. And then Abe, lovely Abe. Actually no, Hellboy again. He's going to throw a punch at this rampaging frog monster right here. I don't think the upgrades work for just fighting normal bad guys. So I'll just throw my normal 3 dice here at him, and we'll see what's what. Cocked. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 in total. I can use that for the BPRD logo for anything, so I'll turn it into a ×2 for that too. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That leaves him. That would take him out, but he's got 2 resilience. So that leaves him on 2 damage. And then Abe takes a swing as well. Abe's on orange for combat. So that's 3 of those and the effect die. 2 cocked ones there, but nothing so far. Another cocked one. And I can re-roll any of the results die with that. So let's do that. Much better. 4 hits there. Obviously 2 that get taken up by resilience, but then 2, it's enough to take out the rampaging frog monster. I think we might be onto something here, boys. I think we just might have it. Abe will then spend an activation to... Oh no, he can't. He can't shoot. He will use his ranged weapon. He's going to use his harpoon as a ranged weapon. It adds 4 to the test score, but unfortunately it means he has to reload. But fortunately, he's very good at shooting. He's got a red die for that, so I've got 3 red die and my effect die. So he's already taken 4 damage, this guy. And we're slightly cocked there, let's redo that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 already for the harpoon. Another 4 here, plus 5, sorry, plus 1. 5, yikes, 9 damage in total. I can use that for a double, so I'll spend that on to make that a total of 11. It's enough. He's gone, he's done and dusted. Harpoon into the wall, splat. And apart from the running away frog monster, I'd say this is done. I'd say I've won this one. I'm very happy with that. Right, well, that was my solo playthrough of the introductory mission from the Hellboy the Board Game. Hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun playing it, as you might have been able to tell. It was obviously quite a quick playthrough, and yeah, probably the best luck I've had on that mission, actually. Towards the end there, I got really lucky on some dice rolls. I got quite lucky on the boss behaviour card flips as well, because I have been absolutely done over on those on other missions. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys did as well. If it did go down well, please let us know. I've got ideas to do some more of them, maybe with some voice acting next time to make it a little bit more immersive. But as it stands, I really enjoyed it. I should recommend you check out the game because it is a whole lot of fun. And yeah, hopefully I'll be making lots more for you. Right, see you soon. Bye. Okay, oops, a little bit of an end credit confession here. I didn't read one of the cards properly, and the transforming frog monster that we drew towards the end, I should have rolled the dice on my next activations to see if he turns into a rampaging frog monster. I rolled these off camera and I didn't get the result required. You needed to roll a 1 on one of the yellow die, and both times I rolled a blank face, so I just thought I'd be straight up and honest there, but I still would have won anyway, because, you know, Hellboy and Abe, they always bring it, don't they? Cheers, see ya.